So I want to talk about this deal that has been reached in the Senate. Okay, now understand this is, and I showed you a video a couple of days ago, and this is the bipartisan group of senators. So you have 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans. Now they have come to a deal when it comes to this infrastructure bill. However, still a long way to go. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to look at the numbers. And then I also want to talk about a few travel stories that have come up. And if you guys don't know, I will be traveling to Hawaii very soon. And I do talk about travel news as well on this channel. At least in the past, that's what I was talking about. And I am going to get back to some of the travel news. So I do want to talk a little bit about that. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification so you get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so I have 2 travel stories to talk about, and then we'll talk about the infrastructure bill. So a celebrity cruise liner, you had 2 people that tested positive for COVID-19. Now, some of these cruise liners, what they're doing is they're requiring that you be vaccinated before you board the ship. And so they boarded the ship, they went about their way, did the cruise, came 72 hours prior to coming back to the U.S. You have to get tested for COVID-19. So 2 people tested, they tested positive. They were both in the same cabin. Now, this might seem like bad news, but when you look at it, the silver lining on this is out of all the people on the boat, only 2 people tested positive, and everyone had to test before they came back. Just looking at that, it might seem like on its face, oh, this is bad news. We're not going to be able to cruise anymore. Well, in this situation, it looks like it worked out. I mean, the vast majority of people did not test positive. And when you go on cruises, usually you'll go to these different stops. They could have gone to a stop and been in a situation where they got COVID-19 wherever they stopped and then got back on the boat. And when they tested, that's when they tested positive. When it comes to stories like this, we're going to continue watching the travel scene and see this new normal of travel. Now, I do have one more story I want to talk about when it comes to travel. And that is, you have a lot of airlines that had to, or people who had to cancel their plans last year for travel. And what a lot of the airlines did is they gave them credit. And so now a lot of people are trying to redeem this credit, and they're calling all at the same time. And this USA Today article here, current hold time is 8 hours and 31 minutes. Travelers face frustrating waits to reach airlines. Now, this story is interesting as well. And I was just talking to my mom, who was calling the travel agency that she went through to book her trip. And she had to call a rental car company. And calling the rental car company, there was like an hour wait. And so, and I'm thinking to myself, an hour wait, that is crazy. And what they do a lot now is they'll say it's an hour wait. Do you want us to call you back? So that's always an option. But here, 8 hours, 8 hours and 31 minutes. And what's happening is people are all trying to redeem these credits so they can go on a trip for the summer. And it is setting these airlines back. So their call centers are just overwhelmed with people calling. So just keep that in mind. If you are in this situation, even if you don't have credits, but you're trying to book a flight somewhere, it's probably better to do it online and not call in. I guess people still do that. I think they do charge you if you call now. So your best bet is to book it online or go through a travel agency. But when it comes to calling them, if you have an issue or anything like that and you had to call them, just be aware of this whole situation. So if you get these long wait times, that is kind of the normal right now. This is the new normal of COVID-19. And it looks like a lot of people are starting to get back out and travel, which is good. That's definitely good for the travel industry. So we'll have to follow this story as well. Okay, so now let's talk about this infrastructure bill. Let me pull this up here. So this bipartisan group agrees on infrastructure deal. Now this title, and this is Reuters, it sounds like, okay, they've reached a deal. But like I showed you earlier, there's only 5 Republicans and 5 Democrats right now that have agreed upon this deal. It's said to be about $1 trillion, and it does not include tax increases. However, the way they want to pay for this is they want to use these unspent funds. And this is always you need to focus on this. They want to spend unspent funds, and that's coming from the stimulus package that was just signed, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So anything that wasn't spent there, they want to spend that in this infrastructure bill. And they also want to index federal gas taxes to inflation. Okay. So now if they index it or tie it to inflation, that means that it can go up and down. And so it could be a situation where you are paying more at the pump because of this gas tax, right? Now, we already know the White House does not want to go along with any type of a tax increase or any potential for a tax increase for anyone making less than $400,000. Now, the Republicans continue to push this. It's either going to be user fees or it's going to be something that's going to tax everyone. And this could be a strategy by the Republicans of trying to get something in there where people have to pay a little bit extra. Because if people that are making under $400,000 have to pay a little bit extra, guess what? That's what's going to be on their campaign slogan. That's what they're going to attack President Biden for. And the Democrats, look, they raised your taxes. I told you they were going to raise your taxes. So I think this is more of a strategy play when it comes to Republicans continuing to try to push this user fee. And so this not going to work. This is not going to go anywhere. This deal that you're hearing that's been reached, it won't go anywhere because the pay-fors are not what President Biden is comfortable with. So every bipartisan bill that we're looking at, when they're talking about user fees or when they're talking about taxing people making less than $400,000, automatically the White House is not going to go for that. So it's looking more and more like reconciliation because the Republicans and Democrats, even this bipartisan group, they can't agree with the White House when it comes to how to pay for this. I do want to touch on another subject. I had someone ask me, or I had a few people ask me about this $200 raise for Social Security. We have not heard anything. Okay, so we're not moving forward, or they're not moving forward with anything when it comes to the $200 raise for Social Security. We could see something in the American Families Plan, so this is next infrastructure bill. But until we get past this first infrastructure bill, we're not going to be able to focus on the second infrastructure bill. Now, understand this $200 raise for Social Security, it was initially promoted, and this was last year, March of last year, by Senator Warren. And so it's pretty much, you're not hearing politicians talk about it anymore. In the last 6 months, I haven't heard anything when it comes to politicians talking about the $200 raise for Social Security. So at this point, it has to be revived or it's just going to be forgotten. So if you guys have any other questions, please post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.